Konnichiwa, hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? Tudo bem? What it do? Welcome to another episode of the J-Boy Sports Podcast, and today we are going to talk about Kyrie Irving versus Allen Iverson. And this is actually one of my favorite things to discuss, and I don't feel like this one is discussed enough. And it's not to be negative towards either guy. Both dudes are great, but you got to give credit where credit is due. And man, let me tell you, in this debate, there's arguments to be made on both sides, but it's really cool to hear people talk about it because it's something I think about a lot, and I definitely have my own opinion on it. I like both players a lot, but let's see what they had to say about this on Gil's Arena. Let's check it out.
Who is harder to guard, Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving?
Harder to guard? Allen Iverson, by far.
We had Brandon Jennings on this very couch yesterday. He said Kyrie because that 50 was going to look much more disrespectful.
Harder to guard, Kyrie or AI? I truly think it depends on how do you want this 50-point game. Do you want it straight at you, full speed, or do you want it side-by-side, footwork in the post? I just think it depends on how you want 50 points put on your head. It's going to come either way. So one, with AI, you got to be in shape. For sure, you got to be able to run around all game. A lot of in-the-paint points. Kyrie's more putting together a song.
No, that's if he's scoring 50, right? Is he capable of scoring 50 every night like Chuck was? Because Chuck is trying to score 50. That's the difference.
So you heard Gilbert Arenas and Brandon Jennings right there discuss, how they feel about Allen Iverson versus Kyrie Irving. And I got to say, I understand both sides. I understand where they're coming from. Watching Kyrie Irving is like poetry in motion. It just looks nice and smooth. It's crisp. It's exact. You just don't understand how he's able to do some of the things that he's able to do. It's almost like you're in a dream watching Kyrie Irving. His handles are crazy. His one-on-one game is maxed out. There's just not a lot you can do when he's on you. But Gilbert said something that makes perfect sense to me and is the reason why I personally am always going to go with Bubba Chuck. If you're not familiar with that name, that's the nickname, one of the nicknames of Allen Iverson. The main nickname most people know him by is The Answer. The next one is Bubba Chuck, the people that really knew him closely, right? And I guess they gave him Chuck because, they say, oh, he likes to chuck it up. Who cares, man? I'm not one of those people that really lives on efficiency. I know in this era, in this time period, all people talk about is efficiency, 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 efficiency. Efficiency doesn't matter to me, man. Because a lot of times the efficiency you're crying about, 4 for 10 is 40%. But you can miss 3 shots in a row and make the next 16. And that's the type of player Allen Iverson was. When you needed him most, he showed up. He didn't stop shooting because he missed 3 shots in a row. It's hard to make jump shots. It's hard to make 3 open shots in a row. Sometimes it happens. But you got to keep shooting to keep your team in the game. You got to be aggressive. It puts pressure on the people guarding you. And that's why I personally would pick Allen Iverson. Because like Gil said, he could give you 50 if you're talking about Kyrie Irving. He could. He might feel like giving you 50. But Bubba Chuck was going to give you 50 every night. If you came out there playing soft and lackadaisical against Allen Iverson and thinking he was just going to go easy on you, you're going to have 60 put on your head. He's going to kill you till he doesn't have to stop killing you no more. Till the whistle blows at the end of the game. That's the only time that you're going to stop getting murdered out there on the court. He's going to the basket. He's crossing people up. And that's the difference between Allen Iverson and a lot of these other guys. I've also said, yes, Kyrie Irving has crazy handles. We all acknowledge that. Even Allen Iverson has said Kyrie has the best handles. Fine. But as far as putting you on your butt and breaking your ankles, I dare you to find a player that did it more than Allen Iverson. The only person I could think of that used to drop people all the time also was Deron Williams, who does not get enough credit at all. His crossover is the best crossover ever. Maybe only Tim Hardaway, who originated it, the godfather of the crossover, was better. Because they outlawed AI's crossover, and now they just let these guys do whatever they want out there. Right? There's no whistles. And that's another reason, even though Allen Iverson said Kyrie is the better handle, they took your crossover away, AI. And I did another video about this. They took away my man's crossover. If he was allowed to do that crossover 24/7, oh, Lord. Kobe already said we were fortunate that he wasn't 6'6". So I mean, I'm always going to take Allen Iverson. To me, Allen Iverson is a top 5 scorer of all time, in my opinion. I watched this man play. I watched what he could do on the court. Nobody really had an easy answer for him. He was going to destroy you, man. It was hard to guard him, especially in his prime. Extremely hard. Players that were 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" couldn't do nothing with him. Too fast, too quick. Was fearless. Would get hurt, get back up, and go again. And I remember living through a time period where the worst thing everybody thought they ever heard was he didn't want to practice. We talk about practice. Now, we talking about games. Because don't nobody want to play. But that's another thing. He was going to be there every game for the most part. Battered and bruised, he was playing. So when you talk about players that people were scared of, you even heard Gilbert a little bit. And I'm not trying to disrespect Gil, but as far as this is concerned, but even Gil was saying like, yo, like, don't want to play against him. He going to give you 50. And I've heard of him talking about Allen Iverson before. Similarly, I hear people talk about prime Derrick Rose, where it's like one of those things where if he's coming to town, you're just like, oh my goodness, I think I'm injured, coach, or somebody else got to guard him. They were that good, and it was embarrassing, and you knew it was going to be a long daggone night. And in fact, we need to put some more Derrick Rose stuff on this channel. I haven't gotten there yet. People don't talk about him enough, man. Like in his prime. If you're a young dude listening to this and you never really watched him live, you could watch the highlights, but imagine some of this stuff live, man. But back to Allen Iverson and Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie Irving has definitely got the handles. Kyrie Irving's game maybe is a little bit smoother. Kyrie Irving's jump shot is probably better. In fact, it is better. I'll give him that. But there's something to be said for a killer mindset. And I don't think we talk about Mike, we talk about Kobe. There's other players that were also killers. Allen Iverson, T-Mac, Melo. They was going to put buckets on you. The whole goal was to get buckets, buquetes. And it wasn't going to stop. And we talk about some of the other players nowadays. People talk a lot about Kevin Durant. People might talk about Devin Booker. People might talk about some of these other guys, but, some of these other scorers. But listen to me, man. Listen to me when I tell you this. If you ever watched prime T-Mac, prime Allen Iverson, prime Kobe Bryant, there's no telling when they were going to stop cooking you. There wasn't all this extra ball movement for no reason, this free-flowing, everybody shoot threes game. People touch the ball, but you got the ball to your best player and you let him cook. And if you couldn't stop him, it was over for you. They didn't just stop killing you. You had to stop them. Double teams, a good zone, whatever you had to use to stop them. Full court press, traps. You had to utilize all that. Nowadays, to me, dudes just stop shooting. Or they want to pass to a three-point shooter. And they don't know how to beat double teams anymore, so they don't try. I rarely see people shoot over double teams anymore. As soon as the double comes, they're passing it to a three-point shooter. Which is fine. Well, it is what it is. That's just the era. But like I said, man, if you ever watched Allen Iverson, Bubba Chuck, The Answer, whatever you want to call him, you're getting cooked. He's dropping people, putting them on their backs, putting them on their butts. Pause, no diddy. And he's going to give you 50. If you're soft, if you're weak, if your mindset ain't tough enough, you're in trouble tonight. And that's what it was. So thank you for listening to this episode of the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also, specifically this video. I did another Allen Iverson video, and maybe it's on me. Maybe I need to improve my talent. But it didn't get a lot of hits. And I'm surprised, man, because I knew a lot of Allen Iverson fans growing up. And I feel like he's a guy that doesn't get mentioned enough no more when we talk about some of the greatest players we ever seen. He was like that. So don't forget about The Answer. All these dudes, I'm not a tattoo fan. I wish people weren't wearing all them tattoos, especially brothers. It is what it is. I'm not telling people what to do with their lives. It's just not my cup of tea. I wouldn't want, my family to be doing that personally. But all these dudes with tattoos, where do you think they got that from? If you're young and you don't understand, that's Allen Iverson. I also got Allen Iverson in my top 5 most influential players of all time. So put some respect on Bubba Chuck. Please like, share, and subscribe. Much love.
Somehow